What's up, y'all? You are tuned in to the Listen Up podcast. I'm your host, Jess, and it's time for you to listen up to what God has called you to do. Let's get it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Listen Up with Jess podcast. I am so excited that you pressed play on this new episode. It's exciting to be back on the mic. I know we are now we're in March. Okay, it is March. When you hear this episode, it will be March. I don't know exactly when it will drop, but it's gonna be in March. And I just realized that February, it just came and then I blinked and it was over. And I really do be feeling some type of way because February is such a short month. And then, it's Black History Month. And then we get gypped because, we got a short month. And, yeah. So, listen, I've just been adulting. Your girl is this year, I'm making some big girl moves, okay? And, it is hard, okay? It is hard. So my day consists of like back-to-back meetings, like after work, and it is a lot. But it is going to pay off because God is brewing and cooking up something good for your girl. I already feel it in this year, so I'm excited about it and prayerful about it. So I'm just asking for grace for your favorite podcaster that is not posting as frequently as I would like, because I have to balance and this thing called life right now as I'm trying to make some moves in my life. So, yes, we are in March and I'm excited about March. Why? Because the sun starts coming out, the weather starts, getting a little bit warmer, and I do like being outdoors. Like, I love fresh air. One of my favorite hobbies is going to a walking trail and doing like 4 or 5 mile walks on like a nice brisk morning or afternoon with good weather. And so I'm excited because I like to see the flowers start to bloom and beautiful, the beautiful flowers, like I can see, and just the nature and everything is just like, it gets brighter now that we're heading into spring. And so I'm excited for March coming up now, because yes, you guys are going to hear this episode in March, period. So, yes, we're there. So, yeah, I'm excited to be back, though, because, listen, the funny thing is I ran into one of my Listen Up fam, and my good sis said, Jess, are you still doing podcasting? I said, ooh. I said, I am. She was like, yeah, I've subscribed, but I haven't got anything new. And I was like, oh, sis, because I ain't post nothing new. So shout out to one of my listeners for holding me accountable. And I was like, let me get back on this mic, because y'all really do be listening up. And that's funny. Like, that's just funny to me, because I'm like, sometimes I really be forgetting that I do have a great and strong supporting, audience and system. So shout out to everyone who's just holding me accountable. I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna do what I can, and I'm gonna give you what I got, because that's all I know. Okay, boo? So, but we are back. And I'm excited for this episode because we are going to be talking about a great, juicy topic. It's juicy. I love it. Because it's definitely something that I feel like I'm not the only one that has gone through, and that other people are probably either have gone through this, they're either unlearning, or they're recognizing that they're struggling with this. And so we're going to be talking about how to honor yourself. Honor your gut, okay? Yes, your gut, your intuition, what your inner self is telling you about certain situations in life. Honor that, right? And so we're going to be talking about how can we honor ourselves and the side effects of self-betrayal. And this is good, because so many times we tend we tend to betray ourselves to meet the needs and the wants of others. And we have to learn to stop betraying ourselves to meet those needs and to meet those wants of others. And we have to stop neglecting our needs to satisfy other needs and what they want. When you're always neglecting your needs to satisfy other people's needs, you will always leave empty. You will always feel either hurt or sad or confused or bothered, sometimes feeling regretful. Usually, when you know your inner self and your gut and what you truly want is not what they want, but you're like, okay, I'll just do it because I don't want to hurt your feelings, or I'll just do it because I just love you so much and I don't love myself enough to say, no, I don't want to do this, or no, I don't want to move forward in this. No, I don't feel like, continuing this, right? And so it's important that we know what are the side effects of self-betrayal. Like, I want us to be in a generation where, sometimes you got to be selfish in your healing. Sometimes you have to be selfish in the things that you are trying to heal, especially when you've gone through traumatic events, especially when you're trying to overcome some hardships or overcome addiction. Like, a lot of this, a lot of these situations and seasons that you could be in, it could be from the result of you constantly constantly neglecting and not listening to what you really wanted to do in the first place, or what you really felt like, okay, I shouldn't do this, but I move forward and do it because I just, don't want to rock the boat. I want to keep the peace. But yet you're creating a war within yourself by trying to keep the peace with other people. And it's like, you're not honoring yourself. You're not allowing yourself to, you're being your worst enemy, honestly, when you do that. And when you go against what you deep down knows that this is not what's going to be best for me, right? And I know it's a conflicted topic, honestly, because I know we're like in a generation of, self-care and self-love, and you want to do this, to do the work, right? And then there's people that are like, but that's selfish, that's wrong. Like, you should sacrifice and struggle and fight hard. To a certain extent. And that's just all I'm going to say. To a certain extent, okay? Because I just don't believe God wants us to be in anything that is going to be physically and emotionally abusive to our spiritual health, to our mental health, to our physical health. And so certain situations and certain people that are in your life, you do have to say no to. You do have to put up boundaries. You do have to, be true to what you deserve and be able to put those boundaries to protect yourself and to honor yourself, so that you're not constantly sacrificing yourself to meet the needs of someone else, and then you show up leaving empty and broken and run over because you done struggled. There's this like TikTok. Was it a TikTok? I don't know. It's like a voiceover that was just like, I'm tired of being a ride or die. I done rode and died. Like, I'm tired of that. And when I tell you, I felt sis on like an emotional level, because one thing about me though, like, honestly, I'm not a ride or die chick. Like, with the right person, I will do that, but I definitely, like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Like, I'm just not really on the Bonnie and Clyde thing. Like, you're not, You ain't. I'm not going to hell with you now. Like you ain't taking me with you. If you doing something you ain't got no business doing, that's on you. But I will, like, if you the homie, if you been somebody that's I've been down with, like, I'm gonna correct you. And if I see like I don't know about that, I'm gonna let you know like I'm not down with that. And that's just me having a more mature, sound-minded personality right now, where it's just like, oh, I ain't got to take all that on. I don't care how much, what love got to do with boo. I ain't got to do all that, okay? But as you are trying to navigate just certain relationships and seasons in your life, I want us to be aware of what self-betrayal looks like. And so I was reading up from the holistic psychologist. I love her. She's on Instagram. You can find her on social media, the holistic psychologist. Y'all probably listen to her, but she had some good major points on what self-betrayal looks like, okay? So the first one, it says sacrificing all of your needs in order to keep a relationship. When she said sacrificing all your needs, like, that is the key. When you realize that you are sacrificing, you're the only one sacrificing in your relationships, whether it is in romantic, platonic, whether it's in family relationships, just to keep a relationship going, that is a red flag. You're portraying, you're literally, you are causing yourself to go in a spiral of like, okay, I have to constantly give, I have to constantly sacrifice, and you're getting nothing in return in order to hold on to a relationship. Neglecting your needs, neglecting your wants, neglecting your desires, neglecting your goals and ambitions and everything to be able to keep a relationship, that is not healthy, right? It's not healthy for the other person. It's definitely not healthy towards yourself. Another way that self-betrayal can look like keeping yourself overbooked with obligations with no time left for you. So that one hit me personally. I tend to keep myself overbooked with obligations. And that's a part of me, being that recovering people pleaser. I've been unlearning that. And I think we've talked about that, people pleasing, in an episode where, it's important that we are able to like establish some type of boundaries so that we can honor ourselves in the time that we need, and that we're not constantly overworking and trying to be there for everyone else, where we don't show up for ourselves. We don't show up for ourselves mentally. We don't show up for ourselves physically. We don't show up for ourselves emotionally and financially, because you're always having listen, somebody that has access to you and you allow them to have access to you and they are not a good person, all they're going to do is take, and take. And they're not going to ever say, hey, do you recognize maybe you need a break? Maybe I need to be thoughtful and be like, you know what? Let me give this person some space. I think they're going through some things. Let me not take it personal. Let me allow them to have the room or the space to take time to process or take time to rest. I don't feel like I always have to get something. And there's a lot of takers in this world. And then if you're a natural giver, you don't realize you're giving and overgiving past your capacity to try to hold on to something, because that's what you're naturally used to and good at, and not realizing that it could be very detrimental to your physical health, to your mental health, to your spiritual well-being, and all of that, because you have not been able to implement healthy boundaries to take care of you. Because at the end of the day, like, you're responsible for you. Like, you're responsible for you as an adult. Like, no one else is responsible. And so you got to take ownership. You have to take your, self back, and making sure that you're setting yourself up to have healthy moments to check in and to fill yourself up. Because if you're not filling yourself up and you don't got the right village and the people around you, all they're going to do is take, and take. And so that's something that when I saw that, I was like, that's definitely something that I've struggled with. Another one, she was talking about achieving something to be validated by someone without truly wanting it for yourself. Child, listen, I think we've all been there, either with you, if you've raised in a family where you guys were very successful and you've had parents or, siblings that have like these grand like careers or, or titles, right? Like getting married and having kids, like, and you feel like you need to achieve this goal for someone else, even though you're truly not wanting it for yourself right now, but yet you're rushing out of the timeline and you're rushing trying to get somewhere and get to this final destination, just so that you can appease and then feel validated by other people. And that is a trap. That's a mindset trap, and you're truly going to continue to betray yourself, because you are trying to be validated by someone, and yet you can't find validation within where you are right now. And so it's so important that you recognize, like, okay, why am I pursuing this relationship? Why am I pursuing this career? Why am I pursuing this goal of mine? And why am I pursuing this education, this master's or this doctorate, or, whatever you're trying to do? Like, is this truly for you, or is this for someone else so that you can feel validated and feel like you're successful? But deep down, like, you put in all the hours, you put in all the work, yet you're like, I'm still not happy, yet I'm still not fulfilled. Like, you have to be mindful and check in with yourself. It's important that you're listening to your inner self when making life decisions, when trying to navigate life transitions, and entering into new spaces, right? So if you have the new career, if you have the new relationship, if you have the new friendship, or if you have the new church, or if you have the new child, or a new husband, or what, you need to be listening to your inner self and making sure that you're staying connected to yourself, and listen to the senses. Like, how is this making you feel when it comes to making you feel physically? How is this making you feel mentally? How is this making you feel emotionally? If this relationship or if this career is being emotionally abusive, then this is not honoring yourself. You are being stuck, and you are literally being a slave to someone else's dreams or to someone else's desires, and you're not able to like really walk out in faith and be able to have courage to say, no, this is not for me, and I will no longer tolerate this environment, this behavior, or this path, because this is not true to what I feel or what I believe or what I even want. Like, it's really hard for people pleasers, recovering people pleaser here speaking, okay, for us to even grasp this concept of what honoring yourself looks like and what really betrayal looks like, because you are so used to like putting everyone else first, and you're so used to you're navigating your life based off of what other people want for you and not what you truly want for yourself. And it is an exhausting, my God, it is so exhausting, like, to live that way. And it wasn't until probably like, I would say like last year or so, like, when I realized, I was like, oh no, like, I really cannot live this way, like, anymore. Like, if I say no, yes, I may hurt someone's feelings, and that's okay. That's it right there. If you say no, you may hurt someone's feelings, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, I am not responsible for your feelings. I'm responsible for my well-being. I can take consideration for it. I can pray for you. I can love you and support you the best way I can, either whether it's from a distance or far, depending on how it's going to be affecting me. But at the end of the day, if this is not going to be able to if it's not going to honor what I truly want and what I deserve, and if it's affecting me mentally and physically and emotionally, I will no longer be the one catching the I won't be the one that's getting burned at the end of the day when I'm out here trying to put everybody else's fire out and to save them, and then I'm stuck on the sideline, just burnt out, laid out, tired, then sacrificing my whole body and life for everyone. And some people just don't even care. They're like, well, that's what you were supposed to do because you're a good person. No. So I say all that to say it's important that you truly are that you continue to honor yourself and recognize those what that looks like. Another one, she said, shaming yourself for past choices when those choices were made in survival mode. Self betrayal could look like shaming yourself for the past choices when those choices were made in survivor mode. And oh my goodness, like I didn't realize how much that personally hit home for me, because I've had to make a lot of like hard decisions in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, like it's a situation, like you could be going through a specific situation where you literally are saying like, okay, right now I have to think about me and myself and my future and how this is going to affect me physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. You're looking at everything and you're like, I can only do what I can do with the resources that I have, right? And so while you're in survivor mode, you're trying to keep your well-being you're trying to protect and keep your well-being. You know, you're trying to keep a sound mind in the midst of the trauma that you're experiencing and that you're going through. And so while it may not please other people, or other people may have some side effects, I say side effects because not everybody is directly impacted. Some people are could be affected on the sideline, or adjacent to what you got going on, but it's not directly impacting you. In that moment you're trying to make the best decision for you and your well-being and your mental health and your peace and your healing. And so making sure that you are taking moments to not shame yourself and say, you know what, I did the best that I could do with the resources that I had. And I'm going to honor myself for what I went through and what I chose to do. And I'm going to move forward in that. I know I may have hurt some people along the way. I know I may have disappointed some people along the way. But they were not in my shoes. They did not go through what I went through. They didn't have to feel the pain that I feel. And so unfortunately, I did what I needed to do. I think it's important that whatever situation that you may be going through or you're struggling with, that you sit down and you take time to process and assess. And at times you have to take a sacred pause and be like, okay, I can't tell everybody my business right now. I can't talk to everybody. I can't talk to even everybody that may even be involved. I just need to have a moment with me and God. I need to have a moment with me and my therapist. I need to have a moment with me and my accountability partner or confidant or whoever you have in your life that you can open up to, and that you can start processing how are you going to be able to move forward in healing through while you're in survivor mode and what that looks like, right? And knowing that you did the best that you can do. I think it's really important that we have like wisdom and discernment in when we are when we are in those moments of survival mode, and that we can have sound-minded people that will be able to speak life into you and say, it's okay to choose yourself here. You know, that's one thing that, like, my therapist is so good at, just always honoring, what does Jessica want? And it's so hard because as a people pleaser, as someone who has used to just felt like, you know, have this overwhelming guilt and shame of, okay, well, I'll just do this because I know it's going to hurt their feelings, even though I'm going to be miserable for the rest of my life, or miserable for, you know, the time being, you know, and I'll just sacrifice that, and they'll live in happiness and they'll be happy, but I will be secretly dying inside just to keep them to have joy. No. That is, like, so many people, like, when you continue to operate like that too, as a people pleaser, you can also mask that into high functioning depression, and it's really scary because you have not been able to, like, to have, like, the right treatment and I guess, like, course correction on how to, like, rewire your brain, and making sure that you are able to honor yourself and what you want, and not feel like you have to just please the world and please everyone else at the expense of your own mental health, at the expense of your physical health, at the expense of your financial health, and all of that. And so people are literally operating in high functioning depression, and they're angry and upset, and they have this war within inside, but yet they're trying to keep everybody else at peace. And it's like, no, that's not healthy. That is not well-being at all. Like, living, being able to be the best version of yourself, by saying yes to everything, saying yes to things that later cause resentment. That is not healthy. You know, you have to have enough courage to say no for you to be able to live the life of yes that you want later. But yet we are constantly saying yes to the things just to say, well, you know, I'll do it just to appease them or to please them, or I don't want to hurt their feelings. And sometimes that yes can be something that you be like, oh my gosh, I regret this. I should have never said yes to this. This was one of the, you know, worst decisions of my life. This has been hard. All because I just could not say no to what my gut was telling me. You know, one of the things I started, like, just telling myself, like, my gut is God. So whenever my gut is telling me, like, Jess, tread lightly with this one, or Jess, this ain't it. This ain't the direction you need to go. Close that door. Stop that conversation. Block that person. Like, there's so many times where, like, I hear God telling me on the inside, like, what I need to do. And there are times where I have, like, deliberately, like, disobeyed what God told me, disobeyed myself, like my inner self, and what I wanted, just so that I didn't, you know, because I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, or, you know, I was in fear. You know, I was just fearful of what the outcome would be. And so I realized that, you know, when making those decisions, those are the ones that they stick with you for a long time. And there's often times where God is trying to warn us. He's trying to, you know, give us, kind of give us that red flag that we keep ignoring. You know, and when your gut starts feeling the red flag, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I see it, I feel it, but there's something enticing, or I'm just so afraid to say no, you know, or I feel like I should say yes because everyone else is telling me to say yes. Then you go ahead and you do it, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, just regret the next morning. Like, you know, when you're, like, out and about and you're having fun and you're like, yeah, this is fun, and the next day you're like, what? Why did I ever do any of that? Why did I no, just immediately no. Like, we have to really like have courage and have confidence in showing up for ourselves and learning how to say no to some things. And we must establish balanced boundaries. Boundaries are key in honoring yourself. When you're setting up boundaries, and listen, y'all, I talk about boundaries and I can talk about it because I don't like boundaries. But as I have now been in this adulting phase of my life where at this point in my life there is no more like me like, oh, well, I'm going to just do it because, they asked me to. And, I just like, it's hard for me to say no. No, or I'm just going to entertain them because they really like me, but I don't really like them. But no, it's not healthy because at the end of the day, either you're hurting yourself and you're ultimately hurting the other person because you're not doing it with an absolute yes. You want to honor your body, you want to honor your mind, you want to honor your spirit with an absolute yes. My best friend always says, like, and I know she got it from somebody, but she says, she's like, it's never she's like, it's never a hell maybe. It's either a hell no or hell yes. Like, if you think about, like, when you have a decision, you're like, hell yes, I want to do that. Like, yes. And you're like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. I have already resolved. I will not be entertaining that. I will not be going down that route. That is not my ministry. Like, you have it. It's never like, hell, maybe. No, it's one or the other. And so it's learning to, like, have that wisdom and discernment to have boundaries and to implement those and stick to them, y'all. Like, stick to the boundary. There's no point of communicating the boundary if you're not going to stick to it. Like, if you are going to if you're going to start changing the script on people, you got to let them know. You got to say, hey, this is what it is and this is what I'm sticking to. Okay? Like, and be about your word. Like, be about your word when it comes to, so you can honor yourself. See, a lot of people will take you for granted because they know, like, yeah, she just saying that, but she don't really mean that. And I have gotten that so many times, like in relationships, just like in general, because I haven't been a woman of my word. Like, I would tell you one thing and then I'll be like, oh well. And granted, we do that. Like, we do switch our minds and you have the freedom of choice to do that. But if you're really trying to honor yourself, if you're really trying to, like, stick to your goals and stick to what what you have told yourself that will help you with your journey, with your mental health, with your, healing journey, with your future, it's important to articulate the boundaries and stick to it, especially when you're looking for something long term. So whether you're looking for a healthy relationship within yourself long term, looking for a healthy relationship with a partner long term, looking for a healthy relationship with your job, with your children, with your family relationships, like, all of that takes intentionality and all of that takes boundaries. See, not everyone should have access to you. Like, that's just what it is. Like, when I realized that my presence is a gift. It is a gift. If you have access to me, it is a gift. If you can text me and call me and not just even on social media, it is a gift. And when you get close and connected to me, where we're able to spend time with each other, like on a one-on-one basis, and I can pour into you and you pour into me, like, that connection, that is something that's unmatched. And I know because I have family and friends, I have people that I've recently come in contact with and connection with, and these are lasting connections that I'm making. And so when I realized that not everybody should have access to you, because once you give them that access and you realize that they're not reciprocating that same respect, that same level of emotionally intimacy and just transparency and vulnerability, and it's not healthy, that's when access deserves to be cut off. Regardless of history, regardless of title, I don't care what it is. Like, no. Like, if you're being physical or emotionally abusive, it's time to go. Like, and that's this period. It's time to go. And when you realize that you can honor yourself, and when you start seeing that and not being bound by, oh, well, we invested so much time, I love him. He said he loves me. Or, this job, like, I've been here for 5 years or 20 years, and I don't know if I should really leave, but they're treating me like crap. No, it's time to cut off the access, because at the end of the day, as long as they continue to have access, they're going to continue to misuse you. They're going to continue to mistreat you. They're going to continue to abuse you. And then you, are left feeling broken. You're left feeling confused. You're left feeling sad. And you're dealing with the side effects of self-betrayal. And so, I want to really encourage my listeners to really be mindful when trying to honor yourself and what that all entails. You will have to incorporate boundaries. And I think we can do a whole episode on boundaries. I think I've been talking about it for a while, so I really need to dig into it. I've been reading a book on boundaries for about a year now, or maybe 2 years. That book is so heavy, but it is so important when you can have the power of no, so that you can say yes for your future, like, and for what you deserve. Like, it takes time. It takes work. You may hurt some people's feelings, but that's okay. Because no longer are we going to continue to hurt our feelings and to continue to hurt ourselves and cause this self-inflicted wound that we give ourselves when we don't listen to ourselves first, and what we want and what we deserve, and what we know that this is probably not the best decision. This is probably not the best route I should take. This is probably not the right direction. This is probably not the right person that I should be in my life or for the rest of my life. Like, these are major decisions, y'all. Like, we cannot just be like, oh, well, I'm going to just settle in. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. Listen, God did not create me to live no miserable life. That's all I know. And so now I have to move with the mindset, okay, is this yes going to be something that's going to help me pursue my future and what God has for me? If it's not, then God, give me enough courage to say no in the now, so that I can have a future yes. And that is something that now I'm living and I'm standing on, because I've just wasted so much time. And I'm not going to say it's wasted time, because again, I've learned so many lessons, and God just loved giving your girl a good L and turn it into a lesson. So that's what I've been doing with it. But I realized, like, as I'm like just on this journey, about to hit a new decade within this new year, like, I cannot afford to keep trying to please everyone and keep trying to say yes to things where deep down my spirit, my body, my mind, my pockets, listen, y'all need to stop. If you're trying to save money, if you got goals, if you're trying to invest, you got to say no to some things. Stop betraying yourself so that you can go and hang out with your girls and all that. Like, I already told y'all, like, this year, I'm literally taking one vacation out of this year, because I have a goal this year for me, and I'm trying to accomplish it financially. And so I was like, yo, like, I can only go to one of my friends' 30th birthday trips. And while, my other friends are having their 30th birthdays, and your girl, listen, I have a lot of friends. Like, and these aren't just like, oh, I just be calling. No, like, I have really close girlfriends. Like, I've been that type of person where I make strong connections, and I have a lot of bridesmaids I will have probably. Like, that's just what it is, right? And so like, I realized though, like, oh, I tell them like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it to your birthday trip. Like, I can't go out of the country here. Like, I'm working on some things financially. I'm gonna have to sit this out. Yes, does it suck? Yeah, I wish I could be everywhere. I wish I was already rich where I don't have to worry about this. But baby, that's just not what it is now. And I'm saying no to some things, temporarily right now, because I know that yes, that I'm saying yes to is going to be long term, and it's for future, and it's to help build a legacy and generational wealth. And so by me investing and doing things, and that me having that goal, I have to be intentional in where I am now and honor myself and not what everybody else wants out of Jess. And so I just pray that this episode has encouraged you. I don't know where you are in your life as far as just seasons or decisions that you're making, or even relationships that you're in or you're pursuing. It's just important for you to look at the now and honor yourself now based off of being in tune of what is your inner self saying about this person, this place or thing, right? And making sure you stay true to that, and not just based off of what the world and what others and society wants you to do. We no longer are going to keep that war within ourselves to have everyone at peace. We got to have a peace of mind and be our own peace in this season, right? Because as we continue to heal, as we continue to become the best version of ourselves, we are doing this for the generation after us. We're doing it for our children's children's children and our family. And I believe that that's what the world needs, and that's what our loved ones need, right? So I pray that this episode has blessed you guys. If this has, make sure that you share it, right? Send it out to your friends. Make sure that you are subscribing to the podcast so that you can get updates on new episodes. And also, if you do me a favor, put a review. I need some reviews for 2022, okay? So make sure that you leave a review of the podcast and how Listen Up with Jess has impacted you. So I hope that you guys are honoring yourselves and saying no to the things that are just not for you right now. Okay? All right. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll be back. Bye.